Hello all, I hope you're having a great day today. So today we're finishing up part 2 of chapter 9, which we're talking about facility maintenance and primarily the maintenance audit. So the maintenance audit provides the framework and discipline to systematically review, analyze, and recommend performance-related improvements for facility mechanisms. Audits help provide the working plan that show what areas need improvement, what corrective actions will rectify potential problems, and how to monitor the outcome of any given action. Either before or after this step, an audit team needs to be established. Some argue that an audit team should be developed at the very beginning of the process to make sure that all issues are covered. Others will argue for establishing the audit team after upper management has defined what it wants from the audit process. This could save time and that the audit team will not reach decisions that are contrary to the directive established by upper management. The audit team sets some parameters, but primarily performs the audit. The audit examines what occurred from a mainly objective point of view. Subjective issues such as how someone changed light bulbs are not as important as whether all the broken light bulbs were replaced in a timely manner. After the audit is complete, a formal report needs to be presented to upper management. The detailed report highlights the findings and is made to re-examine the process and determine what additional steps may be required. One of the key elements in any maintenance auditing system is measuring effectiveness. Effectiveness can be measured through productivity. So how productive is time spent on given projects? About performance, do the employees work well? What about work quality? Is the work satisfactory? And then priority, is time being spent on the right projects? After management has been alerted to the situation, they are asked to critically analyze and institute plans and procedures and ultimately to take corrective maintenance action. And then follow up. Was the process successful? And this is what the audit process looks like in another form. One of the key elements in any maintenance auditing system is measuring effectiveness. So with effectiveness, as we mentioned, can it be measured through productivity? These are the key elements of a maintenance audit. It outlines the elements that are fundamental in determining how efficiently and effectively a program is operating. After a thorough facility audit, the maintenance department will need to handle all of the various concerns identified in the audit. One person can take care of a small building, but a larger facility needs a larger staff or tradespeople trained in such disciplines as plumbing, electricity, and carpentry. The audit often focuses on specific key facility systems that must be constantly monitored in order to avoid potential fines and safety hazards. Critical systems monitored in order to avoid potential fines and safety hazards. Critical systems to audit on a regular basis include the HVAC system, the structural integrity of the system, and burglar alarms. A security system has little value if a sensor is disconnected. So something to be aware of. Even in a big facility, simple cleaning is required in all the different areas. And fields need to be maintained. This particular field in China, the field was being cut by hand using scissors because the soil was very sandy and it made it more difficult to mow because clumps could be easily pulled up since the grass seeds didn't have a chance to grow thick, deep roots. Although not all facilities have a designated maintenance department, all facilities have at least one person who's responsible for maintenance-related issues. Typically, a maintenance department is responsible for the following activities: and performing preventive and routine, such as daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly maintenance. They're responsible for ordering and processing, storing, and utilizing parts, inventory, and supplies. They're also required to maintain appropriate records on how everything from the energy usage to requested and completed repairs are done. They are also, and those completed repairs, that maintaining records is important for liability issues as well. When I worked at the hospital, we had a lady that she was 80 years old, fell off the back of a treadmill broke her arm. And she was suing the hospital as well as the treadmill company. But one of the things that the hospital had going for them is they had great records that they could say, well, we have checked this machine, and they did. They routinely checked those things on a regular basis, and they were able to pull that up. So she couldn't prove that it failed, that the equipment failed. It was really more of a thing that she failed, and she had been shown how to use the treadmill multiple times. People had worked with her. I think she really just held her finger on the button for too long. Regardless, monitoring and energy maintenance management programs, performing minor restorative work such as light painting and repairs, as well as assisting in purchasing large capital assets for facilities or making other major decisions. These categories could be supplemented by many additional activities. For example, the maintenance department at an ice rink may be responsible for securing goals, monitoring and repairing the ice surface, fixing dasher boards, and replacing glass and other specific activities associated with the ice cooling system. Smaller facilities need to utilize their maintenance departments differently, perhaps by having these employees work on construction or move management, janitorial functions, and administrative duties. The repair process outlines a typical process of repairs. And so this is how it normally goes. Someone sees a problem, they call it in, the help desk takes the call, they create a work order, they send it up the chain to management, the management authorizes the work order, and then they start planning on what needs to happen next. So it goes through that process. And although the goal of maintenance is to keep systems and equipment running, repairs are inevitable. Repairs are immediate expenses that are necessary to make a system or piece of equipment operable, and they are done at the expense of previously scheduled maintenance. For example, a facility may have scheduled $10,000 to maintain a roof, but if the roof leaks too much, it may be necessary to make a repair costing $20,000 that was not previously budgeted. This process is completely different from what happens in the marketing department, which can create a budget at the start of the year and then adhere to it, since marketing involves a few true emergencies. A facility maintenance department has to respond to emergencies daily, and since it's hard to determine when an emergency might occur, there's always a struggle to allocate money, time, and personnel and other resources. Whatever the maintenance repair, it involves a process, and that process must be managed. The process can be seen as seeing a simple problem and fixing it, or as complicated as having to go through a major bureaucratic exercise to change a light bulb. And it does seem the smaller your facility, of course, the easier. The mom and pops, you see a problem, you fix a problem. Or you call somebody who can fix the problem. When you have a hospital or a university, you have to report it, calling in the work order, and then making sure that it gets done, all of that good stuff. Scheduling the people to do that is oftentimes difficult. Facility repair management are both ways in which an existing process can be modified. It is often possible to streamline processes through comparing an existing program with other programs by means of benchmarking and monitoring the repair process. Early detection is the critical piece for an appropriate maintenance program. A building's facade is a great example. The brick wall might look great at first, but a number of problems on top of or underneath the brick can indicate possibly significant problems that need to be repaired. Some concerns include the following, such as cracks. Cracks are signs that the building wants to move. The most important ones to address are wide cracks, vertical cracks running up concrete columns, or cracks near the corners of a building. You can see in this picture here, you've got the rebar showing underneath the cracks in the concrete. This is definitely a problem that needs to be taken care of. Displacement, where all building materials have moved in response to temperature or moisture issues. And that's constant. It requires constant vigilance to address those certain concerns. When I worked at the hospital, we had a track that ran inside the facility the fitness facility, and then we had an outdoor track. The facility itself was on a 5-story parking garage. So you can imagine a parking garage, cars are coming in, and there's constant movement in the building itself. Well, the building shifted and caused cracks in the track. And the track was made of a rubberized material, tire. You've seen many tracks that have that rubberized material flex. And anyway, these flex, it cracked all the way across the track, and they had to come in and repair the track. The outside actually did better than the inside track, which was kind of unusual, but considering the environment that it was in. Regardless, there are leaks, holes in the building, whether windows, air vents, or chimneys can foster an environment where leaks might occur. The key to adequately repairing the problem is to determine what is causing the leaks. You have material deterioration. No matter how well designed a facility is, building materials do not last forever, and deterioration eventually results in cracks, blistering, peeling, and other conditions. Or corrosion. Steel in buildings is often hidden under various protective layers, but water can still lead to corrosion. When steel corrodes, it expands and might cause buckling in surrounding areas. To help identify these types of issues, a facility executive should check for stained ceiling tiles, stained interior finishes, water puddles, white efflorescent staining on masonry, and white rust staining. They should also check all seals and sealants, cracks, transitions from one construction material to another, and corners. Perform an infrared scan for moisture and temperature leaks, and examine the roof for any problems such as blocked drains on the roof. Maintenance can be a complicated issue for a facility. Benchmarking makes it simpler. Benchmarking is the process of comparing what one facility does with an industry standard. It measures the performance of a facility's system and components against their expected optimal performance. It is, in essence, a baseline comparison. For example, industry data may show that a motor used under given conditions typically lasts 10 years with utilization of a particular maintenance plan. If a facility buys that motor, management could expect for it to last 10 years if the facility adheres to the maintenance plan. Thus, industry standards and best practices are also used to help facilities maximize the return on their investment of their system investments. The key to benchmarking is a critical physical analysis and review of the facility with respect to architectural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, energy usage, telephone, data, security, structural, environmental, facility operations, and related systems. There is a significant relationship between a facility's operation and the facility's physical condition. The operational plans need to be monitored to ensure that operations, policies, and preventive maintenance procedures are calibrated and working together to maximize system effectiveness. Besides benchmarking, numerous facility monitoring programs exist to optimize facility maintenance. Some companies focus on providing better maintenance and janitorial services by offering computer analysis of current procedures. Thus, through benchmarking and using computers, a facility manager can more efficiently and effectively manage a facility's operations. The systems used to manage maintenance and cleaning are referred to as computer maintenance management systems. These programs streamline the maintenance system by processing critical information and providing solutions to help maintain systems and decrease lifecycle costs. They can produce work order printouts, maintenance histories, material inventories, and financial analyses, improve monitoring and inventory management systems, and track utility usage. A CMMS catalogs all the assets in a facility and their maintenance or monitoring schedules. Utilizing this type of system, facility operators and maintenance staff know when a machine has reached 1,000 hours of service and when it may need to be serviced according to manufacturer specifications. Following these strict guidelines will make the piece of equipment or the facility itself last longer and will decrease the need for major repairs. Guidelines for maintaining automobiles are a familiar example. Cars purchased today come with manuals that indicate what services are needed at a specific time or mileage interval. At 3,000 miles, very little work, perhaps an oil change may be required. At 50,000 miles, 20 items may need to be checked, repaired, replaced, or monitored. If the timeline or milestones are not followed, problems may develop and the car may break down before it should, costing the car owner a significant amount of money. As any car owner will tell you, one reason for not following the maintenance schedule is a lack of time. People may be too busy to bring the car to a repair shop. Another reason may be money. If a maintenance check costs $100 and the owner does not want to spend the money, the schedule becomes irrelevant. All facilities and their equipment have maintenance schedules, but the schedules are not followed for various reasons. Some facilities do not have enough employees to accomplish all the required work. In other cases, staff do not know in what order work should be done, so less important items may receive attention before more important items. A CMMS system can provide appropriate reminders and develop calendars that maintenance staff can follow, thereby reducing future expenses and making the facility and equipment last longer. Some companies are reluctant to spend money on a CMS. These companies may be reluctant to change from the older card-based system for tracking maintenance projects. Others may not think that benefits justify the cost of dollar savings. Many executives are looking for hard dollar savings, such as those achieved by terminating an employee. The soft dollar savings of a CMS comes from minimization of lost productivity, fewer operational interruptions, optimized labor costs that need to be handled, decreased overtime pay for off-hour nuisance alarms, decreased personnel time needed for manual machine inspections, reduction in time required to prepare management reports, which can be performed simultaneously, and reduction in costs for internal staff. Costs can be reduced by enlisting technical staff from external sources. Through a service contract or a third party can monitor the facility's CMMS and immediately dispatch repair services. So a CMMS system would digitize bathroom cleanings compared with the traditional sign-off sheet. I'm sure many of you have seen a sign much like this at a busy restroom such as Starbucks or Stripes, whatever, that they want their employees to check off every 15 to 30 minutes. It's kind of, not a great job. And then normally an artificial turf field can last 10 years, but the NFL required MetLife Stadium to replace their field after 3 years for the Super Bowl. So what would you do in this situation with the old turf? Could you use it for a practice field or something along that line? It's kind of unusual that they made it replace it after 3 years unless they felt like the wear and tear was significant enough that it warranted that. A tennis court that needs cracks to be repaired every several years, it has to be resurfaced or repainted, which is similar to gym floors that needs to be done on a regular basis. With basic maintenance and cleaning, it's important that we consider maintenance and cleaning as well as part of our program, our M&R program. And so a survey was done, and with this, people were asked how many would participate or would go back to a facility if they had a bad bathroom experience. Others would think twice before returning back to a facility where the bathrooms, I know I'm one and my husband is one as well, that if the restrooms are nasty, I'm not going back to that place. Major complaints included an overall unappealing appearance, or empty or jammed or toilet paper dispensers, partition doors that don't latch, water puddles on the floor, empty or malfunctioning soap dispensers, or empty or malfunctioning hand towel dispensers, and lack of space to put their belongings are all things that people consider when they go to the restroom at a facility. One of the byproducts of an unclean facility can be pests. One strategy for dealing with pests in a facility is heat. Most pests can be killed by heating the facility to at least 120 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 1 hour. To be the most effective, The process should run for 24 hours. However, a facility cannot simply turn on the thermostat to reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Special heaters must be brought in to heat the facility. Before the heating process can begin, all sprinkler units in the facility should be inspected to ensure they are rated for more than 248 degrees Fahrenheit, so the units don't engage by accident. All equipment and fixtures in the facility need to be inspected to make sure they can handle the heat. For example, wax seals at the bottom of toilets will often melt under these treatments. Another thought is to have someone, of course, come in and take care of the bugs. You have pesticides and things like that you can utilize as well. So a company to come in and take care of that. Daily floor maintenance. If a floor's finish wears excessively and earlier than it should, the problem could be the result of improper maintenance, which can lead to an increased coefficient of friction, a more slippery surface. Steps to help reduce this can include placing mats at entrances to reduce dust and regular mopping the floor with an approved floor cleaner. A peeling or bubbling finish on a maple wood floor typically means that the floor was not properly screened or cleaned between coats, or that substances such as soap were not properly removed between coats. If the peeling problem is inherent in the top coat can be screened and repainted. However, if the problem exists in lower layers, all coats need to be sanded and then refinished. Finish roughness is often due to contamination in the drying process and requires following the same procedure as for peeling. A lot of it depends on the type of floor that you have. Typical maintenance requires for daily cleaning of a wood gym floor, such as sweeping with a properly treated dust mop, possibly several times a day if there's excessive activity or if dirt or other objects are being brought into the gym. I know at Dugan Wellness Center they limit that you can't have popcorn and those kinds of things in the gym. Sweeping or immediately cleaning any spills, and making sure to use an approved floor cleaner to remove marks such as heel marks. Checking the HVAC system to make sure it is functioning properly, as too much humidity can cause wood warp and other problems. Making sure to inspect the floor for any tightening or shrinkage, and making sure expansion voids are clear so that the wood can expand. You also want to develop a cleaning schedule. And this is just an example, but making sure to pick up all the trash, spot clean carpets, empty waste and recycling receptacles, spot and cleaning windows and doors. I will say that it's kind of interesting with SSC, they do not necessarily vacuum every single day. They do take the trash out, but there are certain things that they do and they don't do as part of their cleaning schedule. Maintenance and safety concerns can be prompted by reports from athletes or patrons of conditions such as poor lighting or slippery surfaces. Someone has been injured may inform a facility manager that she slipped on a puddle caused by a leaking faucet, which will start the maintenance or repair process. The failure to properly maintain a drinking fountain can lead to spilled water, which can create a slipping hazard. The same goes for a leaking ketchup or mustard dispenser. Leaking shower heads or sinks in a locker room can also create a dangerous environment. Failing to replace light bulbs can lead to various problems. A parking garage or lot with low lighting or broken bulbs may be an ideal environment for criminal misconduct. This is why lights need to be constantly monitored. Non-functioning lights in a gym or inadequate lighting on a playing field can contribute to player injury. Other safety concerns include rough edges on bleachers, broken cement in walkways, loose floorboards, missing floor tiles, and a host of other items that need to be taken care of. Maintaining safety equipment. Improper maintenance and cleaning can also lead to health issues. If a facility does not properly clean food preparation equipment, there could be health code violations and potential harm to food consumers. I know we had just recently a movie theater that was shut down because they had pests. A lot of that could be, of course, in a movie theater, you've got popcorn laying around. And so making sure that that is all taken care of. Imagine buying a hot dog that had not been cooked at the right temperature because a cooking machine was broken, or one that was dirty because the counter was not properly maintained. So these are considerations as well. A facility needs to have a policy and procedure for maintenance and repair in order to run effectively. And a facility manager can use the CMMS and dedicated maintenance department to develop a plan, audit operations, and implement strategies to ensure the facility is clean and running effectively. A clean facility is like a clean home, an inviting place to be. It takes time, energy, and resources to keep a house clean and functioning well. And the scale is much greater for a sports facility. Imagine thousands of people using your bathroom every day. An audit can help determine what needs to be done and then serve as a tool for evaluating the maintenance program's success, especially against well-established benchmarks. Special care should be taken in maintaining floors and specialty equipment and devices, as well as in striving for an ecological focus. And that is it for today, guys. Hey, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.